de este partido. El equipo sudafricano le ganó a Zambia 3-0. Aquí vemos la primera anotación de Kalele al minuto 9. Vendría otra vez el equipo sudafricano y Masinga al 16 colocaba ya el 2-0 sobre la escuadra de Zambia, donde milita el jugador Kalusha Walia, que está en el fútbol mexicano, y Williams al 74 hace el 3-0. Sudáfrica mantiene posibilidades de clasificar a la Copa del Mundo de Francia 98. Califican 5 en el continente africano y ya van 3 los que han logrado este pase. Sudáfrica 3, Zambia 0 en la jornada de este domingo rumbo a Francia 98. Países clasificados, decíamos, el caso de...
Für eine deutsche Mannschaft im Landesmeisterwettbewerb. In Syrien kam es im WM-Qualifikationsspiel für die Malediven im Spiel gegen Iran richtig knüppeldick. Dabei erzielte der Iran einen neuen Tore-Rekord für WM-Spiele. Die alte Marke hatte Neuseeland mit 13:0 gegen die Fidschi-Inseln gesetzt. Endergebnis diesmal 17:0.
In Moscow, Russia entertained Group 5 leaders Israel in the latest round of European qualifying matches for next year's World Cup finals in France. Vladislav Radimov gives the injury-depleted hosts an 8-minute lead. Russia extend their advantage 30 minutes later when Alexei Kosalapov finishes off a flowing move. The victory puts Russia top of the group, 1 point clear of Israel with a game in hand. And in Asian Group 9, Iraq continue their quest for a place in France 98 with a home tie against Kazakhstan. Fresh from their 6-2 victory over Pakistan in Lahore, the hosts open the scoring in the 8th minute, courtesy of Sadiq Sadoun. Alexei Klichine's free kick enables the visitors to draw level just 3 minutes before the break. Kazakhstan take a 2-1 lead in the 51st minute when Vladimir Loginon scores. Iraq fail to satisfy the 50,000 crowd and are now unlikely to join holders Brazil and hosts France and the first confirmed qualifiers, Morocco, Tunisia and Nigeria, in next year's finals.
Einverstanden sind. In Damaskus ist Syrien Gastgeber im Weltmeisterschaftsqualifikationsspiel gegen die Malediven. Die Gäste waren vom Iran mit 17:0 nach Hause geschickt worden. Und nun geht es schon wieder munter los. In der 7. Minute die Führung für Syrien. 3 Minuten später das 2:0. Die Gäste von der Sonneninsel können einem wirklich leid tun. Der Fußball-Weltverband FIFA ist bereits heftig kritisiert worden angesichts solcher sinnloser Qualifikationsspiele. Fußballentwicklungsländer sollten erst Vorqualifikationen bestreiten, ähnlich wie in Mittel- und Südamerika. In der FIFA-Wertung sind die Malediven 179. von 192 Staaten. Wir würden gerne wissen, wer ist schlechter?
This is the first of a two-leg series, the Socceroos coached by Terry Venables. And the Aussies would take the initiative early. A mistake here by the Kiwis' defence lets in Foster, who sets up Aloisi for a gift of a goal for the Australians, 1-0. And before half-time, the Aussies would expose the Kiwis again. The deep cross headed out, but only to Vidmar, who places the shot wide of the keeper for 2-0 to Australia. Their third came with New Zealand reduced to 10 men after Jackson was sent off, Foster chipping the keeper from 20 yards. The Aussies take a 3-0 lead to the home leg. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, a 1-1 draw for Japan against Oman saw the Japanese safely into the second round of Asian World Cup qualifying. Japan topping the group on 16 points. In the day's other group game, Macau beat Nepal by 2 goals.
From the Americas were in World Cup qualifying action on Sunday. El Salvador played host to the USA in the final CONCACAF group. The USA had been in the lead 1-0 until that goal from Raul Diaz Arce, who makes his living in the MLS, ironically. The US had a chance to snatch victory late in the game. Roy Lassiter, who'd opened the scoring for the US, hitting the bar that time. 1-1 it finished in San Salvador. The top 3 teams qualify for the finals in France next year, and that point keeps the USA in third, just ahead of El Salvador. Mexico looks sure to qualify. The next 2 berths remain wide open, with just 2 points separating 5 countries. In the World Youth Championships in Malaysia, it was quarter-final day. The highlight was undoubtedly a repeat of the last final 2 years ago between cup holders Argentina and Brazil, who were on top in the first half and much of the second, but conceded that 81st minute goal to substitute Lionel Scaloni. And they were then finished off in the dying seconds by a goal from Martin Perez-Lindo. 2-0 Argentina, the result. Argentina will next play Ireland, the surprise package of this tournament, who beat Spain 1-0.
So Colombia had to be wary Saturday night in Santiago, where 75,000 were on hand to watch this one, and it took no time at all for the home side to go ahead. In the 16th minute, Marcelo Salas heads it home, and Chile on the board. Salas gets his second 11 minutes later. Ivan Zamorano finds Salas in the box. He puts it in. 2-0 Chile. Zamorano and Salas team up again in the 41st minute. The cross, Salas heads it home past the keeper for the hat trick. Colombia would pull one back in the 53rd minute. Valderrama with the great pass to Hamilton. Ricard squeezes it home, and Colombia is on the scoreboard. They would score no more. In the 90th minute, Chile on the attack again. Number 16, nice moves, but he's brought down in the area. It results in a penalty, the defender trapping the boot. And who else steps up but Zamorano, spanking it home. 4-1 Chile. Colombia's winless streak in World Cup qualifying is now at 5, while Chile moves into the all-important 4th spot on the South American qualifying table. Remember, the top 4 finishers go to France. Paraguay is out in front, 4 points clear of Argentina.
The crowd of 62,000 saw a fiercely contested final in Kuala Lumpur. A free kick, Pablo Garcia curls one over the wall and off the keeper for a 1-0 Uruguay lead on 15 minutes. Uruguay missed another chance just 5 minutes later. Nicolas Oliveira's rocket in the area, grazing off the crossbar. Argentina gets the equalizer off the corner. It's Cambiasso at the header, 1-1 the score. In the 42nd, Argentina with the good ball movement. Nice setup for Diego Quintana, 2-1 lead. Uruguay pressed hard in the end to get the equalizer. They will send virtually their entire squad to the area. But the ball does not find the back of the net. Argentina holds on 2-1 to keep the under-20 title. The Argentines lift the trophy for a record equaling 3rd time, and in doing so become the first side to defend the title since Portugal back in '91. Earlier in the day, Ireland won consolation honors. They beat Ghana 2-1. The difference was Damien Duff's 32nd minute.
In Paraguay against the group leaders. That is Ruben Diaz in place of goalkeeper José Luis Chilavert for Paraguay. Chilavert serving the second game of a 4-game suspension. Roberto Acuna with the blast for Paraguay, but sails over the crossbar. Argentina now on the attack. Marcelo Gallardo with the effort, but a good save from Diaz. Then on 30 minutes, still no score. Gallardo is brought down from the free kick. Gallardo takes it himself, beats the wall and beats the keeper at the near post to give Argentina a 1-0 lead. Then 11 minutes later, and Argentina go further ahead. Good ball movement inside the area. Juan Verón. First strike saved, but second one, no chance. 2-0 Argentina. Paraguay would pull one back, or would they? The cross comes in. The header finds the back of the net, but ruled offsides. Paraguay would pull one back, though, on 59 minutes from the penalty spot. It's Ayala, but it's all a little too late. Final score, Paraguay 1, Argentina 2. More South American qualifying from Sunday as Peru hosted the Copa America runners-up Bolivia. And in the 10th minute, Peru attacking German Carthy, finding the back of the net to give Peru the 1-0 lead. Peru would have to wait until the 51st minute for their second. Jose Soto with the score, and that would make it 2-0 Peru. Then on 54 minutes, Bolivia looking wary, but they would pull one back. Luis Cristaldo with the good strike to the far post. Final score, though, Peru 2, Bolivia 1. And it was Venezuela playing host to Ecuador. No score until the 54th minute. Ecuador on the attack. Nice 1-2 in the area. And it's Hurtado with the score, 1-0 Ecuador. Then on 77 minutes and a slip up in the Ecuador defense, Miranda finding the breakthrough, finding the back of the net, and 1-1 is away. It finished up. The top 4 teams qualify for the finals in France, and at the top, Paraguay are 1 point ahead of Argentina with a game in hand. Venezuela are the only team that are completely out of the running, and Brazil qualify automatically for the finals as the defending champions. Meanwhile, Australian fans at River Plate Stadium were expecting a goal feast from Daniel Passarella's side. Early on, it's all Argentina, that shot going wide, and then another Argentina attack, the close-range effort, but that one sails over the crossbar. Venezuelan goalkeeper Rafael Dudamel was also keeping the Argentinians at bay, but he got a little help there, the defender clearing off the line. But then on 30 minutes, Argentina break the deadlock. Hernan Crespo, the great turn inside the box, neat finish, 1-0 Argentina. Venezuela free kick, Gabriela Miranda the strike, but good save from Carlos Roa. Argentina back on the attack, the good cross to the far post, the header, but Dudamel equal to the task again. Then in the 56th minute, the substitute Pablo Paz made the save. Final score, Argentina 2, Venezuela 0. Now to La Paz, where Bolivia played host to Uruguay in a big game for both sides. Bolivia on the attack in the first half. Echeverri is brought down in the area. The referee says play on. Echeverri argues and gets a yellow card. Then second half, still scoreless. Taking another look there, by the way, at that free kick, which didn't materialize. Second half, still scoreless. Cross to the far post. Diving header for Uruguay, but just wide. Then in the 75th minute, Echeverri going forward again, brought down at the edge of the area. Referee this time gives a free kick. And who else takes it but Marco Echeverri? And look at that, over the top of the wall, the great curling free kick. That would be the game's only goal. Final score, Bolivia 1, Uruguay 0. When World Sport returns, Paraguay gets a bad bowl of chili and a double dose of Zamorano in their bid to stay. To Santiago we go, 76,000 packed in to see this one. First half, Ivan Zamorano, just look at the skills, running at the defenders, then unleashing from outside the area, but a good save from the Paraguay keeper. Zamorano continued to attack. The delightful through ball, finding once again Zamorano. Look at the skills once again, but once again the keeper coming up with a good save. On 8 minutes, Chile on the attack once again, and they get a penalty. Striker brought down inside the area. Zamorano sends the keeper the wrong way, 1-0 Chile. Second half, 2 minutes into the second half, the perfectly weighted cross finds Zamorano, and with his head he finds the back of the net to make it 2-0 Chile. Hugo Brizuela pulled one back for Paraguay on 61 minutes. Final score though, Chile 2, Paraguay 1. Meanwhile, Colombia, who had taken just 1 point from their last 5 games, hoping for all 3 at home to Ecuador. And Colombian coach Hernan Dario Gomez said beforehand that he would resign if Colombia failed to win this game. Well, there were plenty anxious moments for Gomez until 4 minutes from time. Davila inside the area and finding the back of the net for the game's only goal. Final score, Colombia 1, Ecuador 0. So with Argentina winning and Paraguay losing, there's a change at the very top of the group standings. Argentina now with a 2-point lead, but Paraguay do have a game in hand. And all the sides, excluding Venezuela, still have a mathematical chance of qualifying for the finals. Brazil qualify automatically as the defending champions.
Paraguay hatte zuletzt gegen Chile die Möglichkeit, der Qualifikation näher zu kommen. Doch in Halbzeit 1 liefen sie einem Zamorano-Elfmeter hinterher. Im zweiten Durchgang trat Zamorano erneut als Torschütze auf und beflügelte damit Chiles WM-Hoffnungen. Paraguay verkürzte durch Brizuela, aber verlor dennoch. Trotzdem glauben sie weiter an die Qualifikation. Bei 4 noch ausstehenden Spielen fehlen jetzt noch 6 Punkte. Das Interesse der Medien in Paraguay
For a meeting with Japan. Japan under pressure throughout the match and going 1 down after just 20 minutes. A neat exchange leaves Consecao with time to set his sights and fire home from about 20 yards. 1-0. The Brazilian bench clearly impressed. Japan, co-hosts of the 2002 World Cup finals, gave home fans the occasional moment to cheer Germano turning over a crisp long-range effort. Brazil's second again came from the boot of Conceição. As the young fans looked on, the ball breaking to him on the edge of the box, and the toe poke finds its mark. 2-0 Brazil. Coasting through the last half hour, Brazil's third was a header. The cross picking up Baiano. Simple flick, 3-0 it finished. The win taking Brazil's record against the Japanese lifetime to 4-1. The lone defeat coming at the Atlanta Olympic Games when Brazil fielded a second-string team. Face-off with the Congo given added spice by a few dating back to an earlier match in the qualifiers. On 14 minutes, however, South Africa's Phil Masinga put all the politics aside as he fired the home team ahead with a blistering drive from 25 metres. The 80,000-strong crowd, along with the South African coach, are on fire. Congo, who could make the finals instead of South Africa, continued to press. A header saved by Arenzi. Still 1-0, and in the second half, South Africa went in search of some insurance. Great flick by Moshu, but his shot goes just wide. Needing 2 goals to make it, the Congo's efforts were relentless as time ticked by, but when the chances fell, they could not capitalise. When they did threaten seriously, Arenzi in the South African goal was equal to the task, despite the desperation of the Congolese attack. The South Africa would finish with a flourish, the wicked volley beaten out by Samba, but the damage was done. South Africa advanced to the finals by 1-0. The victory sparking scenes of utter jubilation as South African soccer comes of age. The footballers now with an opportunity at least to follow in the footsteps of their World Cup winning counterparts in rugby union by taking on and perhaps beating the best in the world. Cause for celebration? Just watch this. So South Africa take their place among football's elite in the finals next year in France. The 1-0 win maintaining their position atop African Group 3, which means they join Nigeria, Tunisia and Morocco as the African qualifiers so far. In the other Group 3 game, Zambia beat the Democratic Republic of Congo, previously known as Zaire, by 2-0. National stage. Meanwhile,
and a former PSG player ensured Cameroon would be there for the finals. Cameroon in green saw an early chance hit the post against Zimbabwe, who tried to hit back in Sunday's qualifying game only to be called for offside. Zimbabwe's acting coach Bruce Grobbelaar not a happy man. Cameroon went ahead early in the second half. Patrick Mboma, formerly with PSG, lashed home the long-range effort to send the visitors ever closer to the finals. Zimbabwe weren't about to roll over for Cameroon though. Peter Unlove so close to an equaliser. But Cameroon went 2 up after 58 minutes. Again, more Mboma magic as he smacked the indomitable Lions into their 3rd straight World Cup finals. What a strike. Zimbabwe did pull back a late goal through Edelbert Dinya, but Cameroon won 2-1 and finished top of their group, and they're through to France 98. Cameroon become the first African nation ever to qualify for 3 consecutive World Cup finals. South Africa have qualified for the finals for the first time. Nigeria, Tunisia and Morocco have all been there before. Those are the 5 African qualifiers.
A relaxed look on a familiar face at the head of the German team, but perhaps Jürgen Klinsmann's not a student of history. A glance at the record books would have provided little encouragement. And for much of this match, Northern Ireland looked capable of extending their 20-year unbeaten run against the European champions. When Michael Hughes put the home side ahead after an hour, the Germans were facing the prospect of their first ever away defeat in a World Cup qualifier. But the game turned on a 69th minute substitution. Oliver Bierhoff was brought on, and within 3 minutes, Germany's 2-goal match winner in the final of Euro 96 had levelled the scores in Belfast. Another 5 minutes later, and Bierhoff was completing the first hat-trick of his career, one that leaves Germany favourites to qualify for France as group winners, but means that Northern Ireland must look back on another unsuccessful campaign. Meanwhile, the Republic of Ireland did little to improve their prospects of qualifying via the playoffs against Lithuania. Chance after chance went begging in Dublin. A goalless draw leaves the Republic in 3rd place in the table. Wales's hopes of reaching France have long since passed, and having conceded 7 goals in Holland, they let in a further 6 in Turkey. This time, though, Wales did score 4 in reply, but another defeat will do little to improve a FIFA world ranking of 90. James Pearce, BBC News.
We begin in South America, Colombia at home to Bolivia. Very first minute, Carlos Valderrama finds the head of Anthony Davila, 1-0 Colombia. Still in the first half, and this time Bolivia with the free kick. And just watch the saves coming up here from Oscar Cordoba. Absolute brilliant in the Colombian goal, making 1, not 2, but 3 good saves to keep out the Bolivians. Still 1-0 Colombia. Still first half, and Colombia get a penalty when a Bolivian defender brings the player down in the area, and Valderrama would step up to take the penalty and makes no mistake, 2-0 Colombia. Then in the 75th minute, Colombia get a third. And just watch the skills here from Faustino Asprilla. The delightful back heel, and Asprilla would eventually get it back, heads in the third goal of the game. Final score, Colombia 3, Bolivia 0. To Montevideo for the game between Uruguay and Chile. 35,000 on hand for the game. No score until the 22nd minute. Uruguay on the attack. The cross to Marcelo Otero. And the superbly taken volley, that would be the game's only goal. Final score, Uruguay 1, Chile 0. To Quito, Ecuador entertaining Paraguay. And Richard Baz scores after just 5 minutes to give Paraguay the 1-0 lead. But 9 minutes into the second half, Ecuador get the equaliser, Alex Aguinaga with the header to make it 1-1. Then 13 minutes from time, and Ecuador get a winner, Ariel Graziana with the honours. Final score, Ecuador 2, Paraguay 1. Our last South American stop, Barinas, Venezuela at home to Peru. 13 minutes into the contest, and Manuel Marengo giving Peru the 1-0 lead. Jolinho would add the second for the Peruvians, and then Flavio Mastri would get the third. Good individual effort. Final score, Venezuela 0, Peru 3. So this is the big picture. Argentina still lead the group, but Colombia are now just 1 point behind. Mathematically, Venezuela are the only team that are out of it. And remember, the top 4 teams will join Brazil in the finals next year.
One defeat in 85 World Cup qualifiers, a captain winning his 98th cap. Germany make formidable opponents. But Brian Hamilton and Jerry Armstrong had a statistic of their own. 20 years since Northern Ireland were last beaten by Germany.
Quinn, that's a good run. Now needs support. Hughes is there, that's a great ball. Michael Hughes could be in, and is. It's 1-0. Here's Hessler, very clever. It's 1-1. It's Bierhoff. Hessler. Oh, he set it up. It's 2-1. It's Bierhoff again. Taken short. Hessler. Oh, it's in the net. Who's got the final touch? Who else? Bierhoff, number 13. Unlucky for some, not for him.
Also in this group are Portugal. The two countries meet in a fortnight, and it's certain the Germans will present a much sturdier defence than the ramshackle backline offered by Armenia in Setúbal. Domingos helped himself to the first goal. By the half hour, it was virtually all over. Luis Figo let fly from 25 yards, goalkeeper beaten by the bounce, a familiar shortcoming this week. To be fair to Armenia, they did deliver a commendable riposte, Eric Asadurian on target. That was right at the start of the second half, but that was as good as it was going to get for Armenia. Pedro Barbosa soon restored the margin to correct proportions. The table is probably deceptive. The Ukraine may well deprive Portugal of the runners-up spot, but don't bet against Germany coming top. They have 3 games left, all at home. To be brutal, there's little to choose between these two countries. The only advantage Mick McCarthy's team have is that they've substantially outscored the Lithuanians. But hard though they tried, not here, not this time.
Narbekovas.
And another shot, and Gibbon has to go full length, and that's a corner. Oh, here's Houghton. Saved by Staucher. And the corner saved by Vainaras. Play on. Cunningham with a cross. Quinn back in the danger zone. Staucher with a fist. Houghton! And somehow it's gone wide. It's Staunton with a cross. Keane's up. Oh! When it seemed easier to score. Into the final minute. Throw everything forward. Hart. Cascarino up again. And just wide of the post. It just won't go in for them.
Romania maintained their 100% record in this group to book their place in the finals. Next month, the Irish Republic are away to Iceland and Lithuania. 6 points will be the target. Wales is always a land of more hope than glory. Bobby Gould, his contract now extended, is under no false illusions about the task, but even he must have felt that 4 goals would be enough to see off Turkey.
Safet, opportunity for it's in. With less than 5 minutes gone, Hakan gives Turkey the lead. And it's Safet again. And it drops to him. This could be a second. It is. Wow. This reminds me of Holland. Page. Towards Blake. Can he lift the ball over? He can. And Nathan Blake has pulled one back for Wales. Savage, oh yes! Robbie Savage, what a goal! What a fight back by Wales! Both Blake and Bullen missing the ball, it drops to Blake, Giggs, back onto Saunders, he should be through here, Dean Saunders! What a fantastic recovery by Wales! Then it's away, Wales have to get there first. They stood back. Chance for Hakan. Wales guilty of giving away a soft goal. Ryan Giggs with this free kick. Left footed. And it's in! Wales have regained the lead. It's Andy Melville. Just can't take your eye off this game for a minute. Hakan, surely it's going to be 4-4. Wow. Arif. And it's in. It's Hakan, his hat-trick. Giggs in with the challenge, straight away on Abdullah. Behind Melville to Hakan. Hakan. Oh, 6-4.
Southall in goal for one half, Jones for the other. It made no difference. And realistically, 6 goals didn't help Turkey much. The pecking order here will be settled in 2 weeks' time when Holland play Belgium. And what of Group 4? Scotland's night off allowed Austria and Sweden to steal closer. It's a hard one to call, but Scotland's remaining games, Belarus and Latvia, both at home, give cause for restrained optimism. This one turned out to be a bad night for Denmark and a terrible one for Peter Schmeichel. Manchester United's goalkeeper caught exposed and flat-footed by a half-hit shot from Edin Mucin. Bosnia went 2-0 up when Mark Rieper conceded a penalty, and then Schmeichel completed his miserable night by blatantly giving away another. Elvir Bolic had been effective with the first spot kick, and he had no qualms about taking the second. Schmeichel made good saves later on, or it might have been worse than Denmark 0, Bosnia 3. Yet the table shows the Danes still with 3 points insurance. After Slovenia next, they have to play Croatia at home, Greece away. Not, I guess, the schedule they would have chosen.
And Sweden coming face to face on Saturday. And it was Sweden in yellow who did the pressing early on, somehow missing that open chance and the follow-up shot wide from Martin Dahlin. Austria then had a player sent off, Anton Pfeffer. 41 minutes gone, the red card shown, he was off. Roland Nielsen then followed after 69 minutes. 2 players gone, 1 from either side. 76 minutes gone, Austria took the lead in Vienna with a great strike from Andreas Herzog from fully 25 yards out. Sweden's chances of pulling back seemed to have improved when the goalkeeper, Michael Konsel, was sent off for bringing down Spar Zetterberg, but 1-0 was how it finished.
A combination of pressure from fans and players had postponed this game, and they began their tribute with a minute's silence. The Flowers of the Forest replaced the national anthems, but it seemed to inspire the Scottish team. Gary McAllister's shot seized upon by the in-form Kevin Gallagher. In the second half, there was another early strike. Ali McCoist's mishit shot fell to David Hopkin for his first goal for his country. From that point, Belarus appeared to lose heart, and Kevin Gallagher was able to run round them for his second. Some consolation, though, for Belarus after a shove on the far post led to a penalty, scored by the Sheffield United striker, Petra Kachuro. But such was Scotland's confidence that David Hopkin decided to go it alone for their fourth. Victory over Latvia in their final game at Easter Road will guarantee Scotland at least second place in their group. Nigel Gainsborough, BBC News.
A win for the United States in Portland on Sunday would lift them above Costa Rica into second in the table. Costa Rica were doing a good job of lifting a few USA players into the air, it appears. Claudio Reyna there injured, damaged his ankle, he'd have to leave the game. Into the second half, Preki, who used to make his living with Everton in England, now a star of the MLS, was brought into the game, and he had an immediate impact, crossing the ball. Tab Ramos, just back from knee surgery, fired the ball into the goal for 1-0 USA. Deserved celebrations, a late winner for the Americans, 1-0 it finished. So they now move into second place behind Mexico in the final CONCACAF group. They're 1 point clear of Costa Rica and crucially ahead of El Salvador, Canada and Jamaica as well. 3 teams will qualify for the finals.
Auf den Jubilar, Jürgen Klinsmann in seinem 100. Länderspiel. Bundestrainer Berti Vogts musste auf die gesperrten Christian Ziege und Jürgen Kohler verzichten. Mario Basler und Stefan Reuter fehlten verletzt. Das schaffte Platz für neue Spieler. Beispielsweise Debütant Sven Kmetsch vom HSV mit einem ersten Warnschuss. Dann kam die Zeit eines alten Neuen. Der Schalker Olaf Thon im Länderspiel-Comeback nach 4 Jahren fügte sich gleich gut ein. Die Armenier zurückgezogen, das machte es schwierig für die deutsche Mannschaft. Das Rezept fast ausschließlich Distanzschüsse bis zur 37. Minute. Michael Tarnath auf Jürgen Klinsmann, die beste Szene für den Kapitän bis dahin. 0:0 zur Pause, keine Spur von Wiedergutmachung. Dann aber Lars Ricken in seinem ersten Länderspiel für den verletzten Debütanten Sven Kmetsch eingewechselt. Fast der perfekte Einstand. Doch das Lattenkreuz war im Weg. Lars Ricken fassungslos. Die 70. Minute, Deutschland noch druckvoller, probierte alles, um zum Torerfolg zu kommen. Und diesmal wurden sie belohnt. Jürgen Klinsmann das 1:0, sein erstes Tor seit 855 Minuten, seit dem Hinspiel gegen Armenien im letzten Jahr. Die Erlösung. Und es kam noch besser, Ecke Thomas Hessler und wieder war Jürgen Klinsmann zur Stelle. Das 2:0 in der 84. Minute, sein 43. Länderspieltor. Dann wurde der Vorbereiter zum Vollstrecker, Thomas Hessler, das 3:0 für Deutschland. Immer noch nicht Schluss, die deutsche Mannschaft wollte noch mehr. Ulf Kirsten in der Nachspielzeit. Das 4:0, der Endstand. Fazit, der Weg nach Frankreich ist fast geschafft und Jürgen Klinsmann trifft wieder. Ende gut, alles gut.
England beat Moldova by 4-0 to take charge of their World Cup qualifying group.
England's eternal flame, a nation united in grief and united in the will to see Glenn Hoddle's team through to the World Cup finals in France. They haven't got the skill to win it, according to Tony Banks, but more than a few showed they disagree with the sports minister. That apart, though, England came together to remember and then to deliver. England united, Manchester United, Beckham's cross, Scholes' header, and half an hour of frustration by the Moldovans was behind them. Scholes' first start for England at Wembley and the second goal for his country. Only one goal by half-time, but the second arrived within a minute of the start of the second half. Gascoigne, the provider, and Ian Wright doing the job that Arsenal fans have seen so often. And England fans have come to expect from the man whose boots Wright was filling, the injured Alan Shearer. David Beckham, on a yellow card, was subbed midway through the second half to ensure he'll be available for the group-deciding meeting with Italy next month. And his replacement, Stuart Ripley, almost set up a third goal. Gascoigne against the post and Batty over the bar. But Gaza wasn't finished. England's best player on the night rounded off an impressive performance with England's third. And the look was enough to silence any lingering doubters. Ripley's appearance was short and hamstrung, but England still got a fourth goal in the dying minutes, and the message from Ian Wright to Glenn Hoddle is loud and getting clearer all the time. France 98, here I come. 4-0 then to England on a night Italy were held in Georgia. They're top of the group now, and a draw in Rome next month will make sure of qualification for the finals. Chris Scudder, Sky News.
We had to do our job, man, and it was a really special night for everybody.
Italy wanted the game settled quickly, and Chelsea's Gianfranco Zola almost did so in the Azzurri's first attack. But Georgia weren't about to sit back and defend. The shot from Arveladze was turned over by Peruzzi. The second half was nearly all one-way traffic, as Italy were again unlucky to break the deadlock, as first the crossbar and then the post denied them a goal. Then goalkeeper Nika Togonidze somehow kept out Dino Baggio's shot as Georgia hung on. Into the final minute, and once again the Italians were foiled as Togonidze managed to keep a clean sheet from the final kick of the game. Italy dejected at being held away from home again. Cesare Maldini not exactly welcoming in the post-match interview. Mark O'Leary, Sky News.
Here's the Group 2 table. Looks good, doesn't it? England on top, 1 point clear of Italy. Draw then in Rome next month, and they'll automatically qualify for the World Cup finals in France. There was plenty of other World Cup matches across Europe tonight. Austria leaped above Scotland in the Group 4 table.
And over Slovakia on Wednesday would do the trick. No score here in the first half. Yugoslavia with a free kick. The ball palmed onto the post by Molnar, and Slovakia, who can still qualify themselves, would prove no pushover. This effort fired agonisingly wide. But on 65 minutes, the home side would get its reward. The ball pushed out wide to the left flank, and when it's flashed in, Majoros pounces for 1-0 Slovakia. And he sends the home crowd wild. 15 minutes later, though, the Yugoslavs came back. The free kick driven by Mihajlovic, giving Molnar absolutely no chance. 1-1, the final score. The draw leaving Yugoslavia level on points with Spain, and though technically speaking the Yugoslavs could still miss out on qualification, a relatively easy game that's their last game against Malta, suggests at worst they'll make the playoffs. To clarify then, 15 teams are set to play in the finals from Europe. The hosts France, the 9 group winners, and the best runner-up, and 4.
Here we go, we pick it up early in the first half, and looks like Argentina have an early lead. Lopez has the ball in the back of the net, but the referee ruled that it was offside, so still no score. But Argentina would get on the board after 25 minutes. The ball is laid back for Marcelo Gallardo, and it's 1-0 Argentina. But Chile would have an equaliser on 34 minutes from the throw-in. And Marcelo Salas is there to clip it home, and that made it 1-1. Now to the second half, still 1-1, and Chile on the attack, looking to go in front. Sierra with the long-range effort from just outside the area, and a great save from Roa to parry it over the crossbar. It remained 1-1 until 5 minutes from time. Ortega with a golden opportunity finally gets the cross in, and there is Claudio Lopez to head it home. Final score, Chile 1, Argentina 2. The Argentinians qualify for the World Cup finals. With the win over Bolivia, Paraguay would also qualify for the finals. First half, Paraguay with the chance. Richard Baez on the right flank, but his shot goes into the side netting. Paraguay now leading 1-0 in the first half, looking to double up their lead from the corner kick. Carlos Gamarra with a deflecting header, and that would make it 2-0. The celebrations on in Paraguay, and goalkeeper José Luis Chilavert excited. Chilavert was playing his first game back after a 4-game suspension, and he played a very influential role. Here he takes a knock, but prevents any kind of danger. He would receive some treatment, would carry on. Bolivia would pull one back in the second half, but final score, Paraguay 2, Bolivia 1. Paraguay, their first World Cup appearance in 12 years. Now to Barranquilla, where Colombia would qualify for the finals with a win over Venezuela, and an early chance for the Colombians, but a good save from the goalkeeper. Still no score now in the second half. Colombia on the attack again, and this time the Venezuelans' best friend is the upright. No score until the 67th minute, and that's when Colombia get the all-important goal. Vilma Cabrera with the header. Final score, Colombia 1, Venezuela 0. The Colombians are World Cup bound. In today's other game, Peru beat Uruguay 2-1 to move up to 4th in the table and keep their World Cup hopes alive. But the big story, Argentina, Colombia and Paraguay have taken 3 of the 4 South American spots for the finals in France next year. Brazil qualify automatically as the defending champions, and in a friendly Wednesday they beat Ecuador 4-2. Dodo got a pair of goals for the Brazilians.
Here, it was tense out on the field in the first half. Yugoslavia with a free kick, but the shot saved by the Slovakian keeper, and there is no score here. Slovakia on the attack, but this shot just wide, still no score. We move on to the second half, into the 65th minute, and Slovakia break the deadlock. Josef Mayores beats the keeper on the volley, and Slovakia take a 1-0 lead, and their hopes were high. That lead lasted until 10 minutes from time, when a free kick by Sinisa Mihailovic would even the match at 1. That's how it ends, in a 1-1 tie. Both teams still alive. The result, though, moved Yugoslavia to the top of Group 6 on goal difference, but Spain do have a game in hand. Slovakia are still mathematically alive, but they are 4 points back and face Spain in the next round.
2連勝を狙う地元韓国、日本に大敗したウズベキスタン相手とあって一段と気合が入ります。立ち上がりから攻勢をかける韓国は前半15分、初戦のカザフスタン戦で3得点をマークしたチェ・ヨンス。ゴールキーパーが弾いたところを再び押し込んで先制ゴールを奪います。韓国はその後もスピードで圧倒しますが、チャンスを生かすことができません。後半に入っても韓国の攻勢が続きます。しかしシュートが決まらず、ウズベキスタンを突き放すことができません。後半から出場したセレッソ大阪のコ・ジョンウン、ことごとくチャンスを潰す韓国に対してウズベキスタン29分のコーナーキック。日本戦で2得点を挙げたシャツキフのゴールで同点。このまま引き分けかと思われた終盤の42分、韓国はイ・サンヨン、これが決勝ゴールになりました。韓国は苦しみながらも2連勝、勝ち点を6に伸ばしています。一方、日本が19日に対戦する UAE、 首都のアブダビでカザフスタンを相手に最終予選の初戦を迎えました。その UAE、 立ち上がりから得意の速攻でペースを使います。前半19分、右サイドを崩してアリ・ハッサンが先制ゴール。 後半開始早々1点を追加した UAE。暑さで運動量が落ちたカザフスタンを一方的に攻め、32分には個人技で3点目。39分にはスピードに乗った攻めから4点目。圧倒的な攻撃力で初戦を圧勝した UAE。19日にこのアブダビで対戦する日本にとってはかなりの難敵になります。
50,000 fans at Boca Stadium for the game against Newell's Old Boys, and Maradona was given a standing ovation. 42nd minute, Boca get a penalty. Who else but Maradona takes it? Forget about the hand of God. He is God in Buenos Aires. 1-0 Boca, and the home side going forward once again. Good opportunity to go 2-0 up, but a good save from the Newell's Old Boys keeper. Boca still attacking. Maradona almost with the diving header. Then 66 minutes, Newell's Old Boys get an equaliser. Yosemir Lujambio with the rebound, and it's 1-1. 11 minutes from time though, Boca get a winner. It's Guillermo Barros, the goal scorer, and 2-1 Boca would be the final score. Maradona enjoys victory, but for how long? As after the game, he once again hinted at retirement.
Wait 10 minutes. I waited 10 minutes and it still hurt really bad.
Argentine First Division action from Sunday. Ferro at home to River Plate in a physical one. 45 minutes gone, no score. River Plate on the attack. Marcelo Salos inside the area, and the ball goes over the goal line. 1-0 River Plate. Take another look though. Salas, is that the hand of God? Anyway, 1-0 River Plate. The River Plate goalkeeper did well to keep the team 1-0 up. The great save from the free kick to get it over the crossbar. 83rd minute, River Plate attacking again. The ball to Ismael Medino Bello. Looks up, fires, finds the back of the net. 2-0 River Plate. Then 1 minute from time, River Plate get a penalty. Hernan Diaz puts it away. Final score, River Plate 3, Ferro 0.
Let's take a look at some of the action here. 30,000 on hand in Kingston. No score. Costa Rica, though, on the attack. They controlled most of the action. This shot goes just wide. No score. Then it's the other way. Jamaica's Dion Burton attempts the cross, but look, it's deflected in by a Costa Rican defender. An own goal. The only goal of the match as Jamaica win it 1-0, and they go to the top of the CONCACAF region. El Salvador jumped into the mix with a big match against Canada. 15th minute here for El Salvador. Dios de Mayo. The former Brazilian notches the first goal of the match as El Salvador take a 1-0 lead. 52nd minute now. Canada had it tied up. Cienfuegos feeds Renderos, who chips it in for El Salvador. El Salvador with a 2-1 lead, and they would extend that lead into the 87th minute. Cienfuegos added one of his own. Then Raul Diaz Arce finishes off the scoring as El Salvador beat Canada 4-1, pretty much ending Canadian hopes. The Canadians have just 5 points in 7 matches, while El Salvador jump past Costa Rica, and they are level with the U.S., who have a game in hand. Jamaica's win leaves them level on points with leaders Mexico, but the Reggae Boys have played 2 more matches. In Asia Group A, Saudi Arabia beat Kuwait on a controversial free kick goal in the 54th minute. A shot that appeared to have been saved was ruled a goal by the linesman, and Saudi Arabia opened the round with a win over their smaller neighbor. Also in Asia Group A on Friday, powerhouses Iran and China squared off. 9 minutes into the second half, China on the offensive. Li Ming with a great volley, and China took a big 2-0 lead, but Iran would come back. China leading 2-1. And it's Mehdi Mandavi Kia to tie the game at 2. 84th minute, Iran would go ahead for the first time. Kia, again, look at this blast from way outside the box, and Iran take a 3-2 lead. 2 minutes later, they'd score again. Ali Ashkai Modir Rasta chests down the volley, and volleys it home, and Iran win that match 4-2.
Host the 2002 finals with South Korea. 40,000 fans on hand in the UAE to watch this game, and it's the Emirates on the attack, and they bring a good save out of the Japanese keeper, and they'd keep pressing on home turf. The cross from Said, the header a little too high. Japan did make a few chances of their own. Kazimura unleashing a low drive that the keeper did well to save. And on 33 minutes, at the other end, the Japanese keeper showed his paces as Yusuf's shot is held. Japan's best opportunity to score came here in the first half. Well, that was a great save off Hidetoshi's header. They did seem to have the winner, though, on 75 minutes. This one goes in from Omura, but the referee rules it offside. 0-0, the final score. In Asian Group A, Iran entertained Saudi Arabia in Tehran, the home team looking odds-on to take the lead on 24 minutes when a desperate challenge in the box results in a penalty. Karim Baja taking responsibility, only to be thwarted by a great save from the keeper. And 10 minutes before half-time, the Iranians would suffer for their mistakes in defence. They failed to deal with this clumsy attack, allowing Ibrahim Swede to slide the ball home for the opener, 1-0 Saudi Arabia. In the second half, however, Iran made amends, the corner creating mayhem in the Saudi box, with Baja, the man who missed the penalty, on hand to supply the final touch. 1-1, the final score. The draw in Tehran followed later in the day by a 2-0 victory for Kuwait against Qatar in Doha. With the top team destined for the World Cup finals, Group A shows Iran in the lead after 2 games.
They'll be pouring over the Pyrenees next summer. Spain booked their place in the World Cup finals with this win in Bratislava. Afonso's cross enabled Kiko to give them the lead at the beginning of the second half. Second place has always looked destined for Yugoslavia, but Slovakia had their pride, and when Majoras put in the equaliser, joy on the home bench was more or less unconfined. Until Spain roused themselves again and had one too many men in the area for Slovakia's good, and more on hand to make it 2-1. Late on, the Spaniards had to defend their lead. The chance of a draw was there, but Majoras couldn't take it. And so, under the complicated calculus of this World Cup, Spain will top their group if they beat the Faroes. But if they lose to the Faroes, it says here, they will still qualify as the best of the second-place teams.
And Spain become the 14th country to qualify for France 98. England and Scotland get...
Players from Uzbekistan and United Arab Emirates exchange gifts before their World Cup qualifier on Saturday. The cross to the far post and shirts off. Got the hosts on the board first in the 13th minute. UAE will get the equalizer early second half. The cross will find the head of Bakit. 1-1 the score on 56 minutes, and with UAE leading 2-1, they will strike again in the 85th minute. Al Talani with the ball, sending one in from a tough angle, and UAE will hold on to this one 3-2. They lead the Asian Group B standings with 7 points from 3 matches. Uzbekistan has been eliminated.
Went to South Korea. Lee Min-sung scored the winner 4 minutes from time, and the 2-1 result gives them a third successive win in Group B, and they now lead the standings by 2 points from the United Arab Emirates, who beat Uzbekistan.
日本は1勝1引き分け、ライバルの韓国は2戦2勝で東京に乗り込んできました。後半に入り動きが良くなり22分、山口が巧みに相手をかわして技ありのシュート、待望の先制点を奪います。その直後、日本はディフェンダーの秋田を投入。1点を守り抜く作戦でしたが、39分集中力が途切れ同点のゴールを決められます。さらにその3分後、これもディフェンスの一瞬の隙を突かれました。日本2対1の逆転負けで手痛いいっぱいを期しましたが、気持ちを切り替えて残り5試合にフランス行きの望みを託します。
It's in Seoul on Saturday night, the United Arab Emirates. And it was the visitors who'd start the quicker. This effort just deflected wide by the Korean defence. But on 8 minutes, South Korea, who will co-host the 2002 finals with Japan, gave the 70,000-strong crowd what they wanted. Ha Seok-ju going solo for 1-0. And the direct approach also worked well in the second half. Choi Young-soo going down for a penalty on 68 minutes. Yoo Sang-chul with the job of converting, which he does for 2-0 South Korea. Their third goal was an old-fashioned classic, the cross from the wing met by a true centre-forward's header from Lee Sang-yoon to wrap up the night for South Korea. So South Korea endorsed their position as group favourites with an emphatic win. Their position atop the group strengthened by the performance of Kazakhstan, who held much-fancied Japan 1-1 with a last-minute equaliser from Viktor Zubarev. The Japanese now in real danger of missing out on the finals, lying third behind South Korea and the United Arab Emirates. With 3 to qualify from CONCACAF, things still remain pretty tight at the top, making Jamaica's trip to the USA vital for both teams, the Jamaicans first to show. And as they chase a place in the finals for the first time, the visitors continue to keep Casey Keller busy in the US goal. American attacks, meanwhile, were scarce in the first half, and when they did get through, Warren Barrett was up to the job. Then on 49 minutes controversy, the USA awarded a penalty, though Goodison's handball was clearly outside the box. Eric Winalda didn't mind. He put away his 31st international goal to put the US one up. 2 minutes later, though, Jamaica got the goal their enterprise deserved. Agu's spad pass to Dion Burton 1-1 the final, leaving Jamaica atop the group from Mexico with the USA in third position.
鴨監督はワールドカップ初出場を目指して一昨年の1月から代表チームの指揮を取りました。で先月から始まった最終予選では第1戦のウズベキスタン戦こそ快勝しましたが、その後は昨日のカザフスタン戦で終了間際に同点に追いつかれるなど不本意な試合が続いて、前半の4試合終わって1勝1敗2引き分けでグループ3位、予選突破は苦しい状況になっています。日本サッカー協会は引き分けに終わった昨日のカザフスタン戦の後、協会の幹部と協会員
The Mexicans have been in command of the group throughout, and with 3 games in hand on leaders Jamaica looks safe bets for France 98. That's even more the case after Sunday's display in front of 120,000 fans in Mexico City. 30 minutes gone, and veteran midfielder Benjamin Galindo gave Mexico the lead. Just 5 minutes later, it was 2-0. Pavel Pardo with a fine run, Alberto Garcia Aspe with a finish. Mexico on their way. Just 3 minutes later, Galindo scored a penalty, and then early in the second half, the Mexicans added a fourth through Brazilian-born Zeg. It finished 5-0 Mexico. So Mexico are back on top of the CONCACAF standings, 2 points clear of Jamaica with 2 games in hand. The defeat for El Salvador also strengthens the position of Jamaica and the USA. With 3 nations qualifying, Mexico in effect need just a point from next week's trip to Canada to move on. The Mexicans are clearly well on their way to the finals once again. That's far from the case for Kazakhstan and Japan, who met in the final Asian qualifying group on Saturday. Brazilian-born Wagner Lopez had the first scoring opportunity for Japan, but he headed wide and was left looking for his first international goal. After 23 minutes, though, Japan went in front. Yutaka Akita headed home from the corner, and that was 1-0. But Japan were again guilty of losing concentration late in the game, and as they have so many times before in major games, conceded a last-gasp goal. Viktor Zubarev scored it. 1-1 was the result. It was a last-minute goal which cost Japan a place in the 1994 finals, and they also conceded 2 in the last 6 minutes to South Korea in their previous qualifier for the 98 finals. So it's looking bleak for Japan at the moment. Only the top team in Group B is sure to go through.
55 Minuten waren gespielt und Jürgen Kohler machte eines der schönsten Tore seiner Karriere. Doch leider ins eigene Gehäuse. Albanien führte, die WM-Qualifikation war in Gefahr. 8 Minuten später war alles wieder offen, Thomas Helmer mit dem verdienten Ausgleich. Die deutsche Mannschaft schien jetzt endlich befreit, wollte den Sieg. Oliver Bierhoff macht in der 73. Minute das 2:1. Albanien erwies sich dann aber als klassische Kontermannschaft und legte nach. 7 Minuten später wieder der Ausgleich, Taglitare, der Vollstrecker. Doch Berti Vogts brauchte nicht lange auf das nächste Tor warten. Der eingewechselte Bundesliga-Top-Torschütze Olaf Marschall macht das 3:2 für die DFB-Auswahl. Doch da war ja immer noch der Gegner, Albanien. Das 3:3 durch Vata, 2 Minuten vor Spielende. Den letzten und siegbringenden Treffer erzielte dann wieder Oliver Bierhoff. Schlusspunkt unter ein denkwürdiges Spiel.
Nil.
What should have been a glorious night of edge-of-the-seat football turned into different tensions virtually from the kickoff. Italian and English fans hurled more than just abuse at each other. And it was only a matter of time before the police, some obviously nervous of the situation, reacted. Throughout the first half, police charge followed missile throwing. Many respectable English fans decided they'd had enough by half-time and began to make their way home.
Kevin Gallagher and Gordon Durie scored the goals that gave them a 2-0 win over Latvia at Celtic Park.